This is the key to getting everything that you want. Don't let what is be the dominant vibration. People get stuck in that. You are so enamored with what is. And what is different than what's coming. So if you're focusing on what is, then what's coming can't get there. What you focus on always dominates. So if you focus on where you're going rather than where you are, then it unfolds to that, you see. But on subjects like this that you've thought so much about, it's better to just stay off the subject and just focus on the other things that are working out the way you want them to. The other things from which you are taking pleasure. Pleasure is a big word. Pleasure is a word that's calibrated to your source energy. When we say, are you taking pleasure from your thoughts about your son? That's equivalent to saying, are you thinking about your son in the same way your inner being thinks about your son? And so you've asked. And from what you know about the law of attraction and what we talk about here, do you believe that it's been answered, that there's a vibrational reality where that's already taken place? Do you believe that there's a vibrational reality where you and your son are both cooperative components to this relationship that is eternal between the two of you? Do you believe that?
Yes.
So step 1 and step 2 have happened, haven't they? So then step 3 is just about you being in the receiving mode. And this is the thing that we want you to hear, all of you. Step 3 doesn't say, you have to be in the receiving mode about this subject. It just says you have to be in the receiving mode. Did you get that? Because you already asked about this subject and you've already been answered about this subject. Now get off the subject that's keeping you from the receiving mode, and you'll be in the receiving mode, and then you'll get what you want. That's the answer to everything that you want. But as humans, you sometimes think that you have to suffer harder. All those old records are playing, and those records are some of the records that your wife is playing to you. Don't you think you could try a little harder, and don't you think you could reach out a little more, and maybe if you wrote a letter and said this and this and this? That's not what's going on. This is not an action problem. This is a vibrational problem. And all a vibrational problem ever is a habit of thought that keeps going even though it's not in harmony with what you now want. And so when you stay off the subject, you'll let that habit subside. The habit will subside if you'll stay off the subject, because you've got so much powerful momentum about family things coming together going. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Whew, that's powerful. So when we say, have you gotten together with your son? We want you to say, who? Who? Now the world would say, oh, Abraham, are you really teaching him detachment? Just verbal detachment, just action detachment. You can never detach from the vortex version that you've got going on. And so just stop beating the drum of what isn't happening and savor the wonderful things that are happening, and then wonderful things that could happen that aren't happening will happen. Take pleasure from the things that it's easy to take pleasure from, and don't try to work the things that you can't take pleasure from them into the act. That's the Castle Button story. If you think it's easy, then you've got no resistance. A desire that you believe is a done deal. A desire that you doubt is way slower.